Thank you guys for coming. I certainly want the focus of today's media session to be on Coach Montgomery and our football team. However, I did want to make some remarks and offer some clarifications regarding our process and strategic direction moving forward, since there has been no public comment since our press release on Sunday. First, I want to thank Coach Pry, his wife Amy, and his family for their time at Virginia Tech. He was a pleasure to work with. He cared about this place deeply. He represented Virginia Tech with class and improved our recruiting efforts in Virginia and regionally, like he said he would when he arrived. He invested in the team culture, cared for his student athletes, connected well with former players, engaged the community and fan base, and was a wonderful teammate to the entire department. We will miss him and wish him well. College sports, especially Power 4 football, is a results-oriented business, and we obviously didn't win enough football games. He handled the end of this chapter with class, and I want to express my appreciation and respect again to he and his family. Secondly, I want to thank Coach Montgomery for agreeing to serve as our interim head coach. As you know, he has been a head coach and an offensive coordinator at multiple Power 4 schools, and he knows how to lead. As you can imagine, it's a tough situation for him when the head coach who hired you is dismissed and you're processing the disappointment of that and an uncertain future ahead. And within a matter of an hour, he's then tasked with leading the program, speaking to the team, keeping this group together for the remainder of the season, and now too doing weekly media sessions with you guys. He will have our full support, as will his family, and I wanted to express my appreciation and gratitude to him as well. I want to also thank our assistant coaches and football support staff for their continued work and professionalism during these difficult times. I certainly empathize with what they and their families are going through, and I look forward to visiting with them again tomorrow morning. And I especially want to acknowledge our student athletes for their resilience and commitment to each other. It's been a tough start to the season for them, and this week has been disruptive, difficult, and confusing to them too. I encourage them to continue sticking together and taking pride in their performance. Sports teaches life lessons, and sometimes those lessons can be hard. They're resilient, however, and they are Hokies. I'm confident they will be ready to play and compete versus Wofford, and Hokie Nation will be rooting hard for them this Saturday. I also wanted to offer some clarification and relative transparency on our search process, which is in its preliminary stages. We will have a search committee with some internal staff support behind it. The committee will include members with extensive football experience and insight, board of visitors and campus representation, and executive leaders. As the AD, I will support and advise the committee during the process. The committee's collective expertise and strength will enable us to make the best decision for the next head coach of the Hokies. This will be a collaborative decision, and the committee voices will carry tremendous weight. We are confident our committee will make an outstanding selection, will be aligned with our board of visitors and campus leadership, and certainly alignment within our committee when identifying our next head coach. As far as the future strategic direction of our department, I want to point back to Dr. Sands' quote from the Sunday press release. Was in the release. The Board of Visitors and I are working closely with AD Whit Babcock to develop a financial, organizational, and leadership plan that will rapidly position the Virginia Tech football program to be competitive with the best in the ACC. The new framework for college sports will be fully established for next season, so this is the time to make a major move, end quote. I want to thank Dr. Sands, Amy Sebring and her team on campus, Brandon Hall, Ryan McCarthy, and Jay Pearson for the work they have put into a proposed plan to be reviewed by the board in the coming weeks, resulting from the presentation they received during the board retreat last month. Due to that timing, the work ongoing, and respecting the chain of command, I will not address any questions today after my remarks. That announcement will and should come from the president and board when appropriate. With additional financial support and new resources available to increase traditional and creative athletics revenue generation, I am confident you will soon see a modernized structure built for success in this rapidly changing environment of college athletics. More in line with a professional football type organizational structure on the football side of things, and from an athletic department standpoint, a structure and organization more in line with corporate business. It has become a $150 to $200 million annual enterprise after all. I and we will improve, evolve, and adapt to this new landscape successfully. I'm excited for this new era and the forthcoming initiatives and opportunities planned. We truly can make a major move, as Dr. Sands referenced. And finally, I want to acknowledge our fans, donors, and alumni. They have been absolutely amazing, and they are second to none. They have been doing their part and then some to will us to victories and success. And I sincerely apologize that we haven't stepped up yet and returned the favor with results on the field. The paradigm of the college football landscape has obviously changed, and we are better positioning ourselves for success to be ahead of the curve rather than chasing behind it. It's up to us to do our part as an administration and an athletic department to aggressively adapt, modernize, and invest to win strategically, and to reward this fan base in a manner that they deserve, expect, and demand, and we will do that. Thank you, and thank you, Hokie Nation. Please welcome the interim head coach of the Hokies, Mr. Philip Montgomery. Thank you.
So it's been an emotional couple of days. What a whirlwind that has been. I think we got to keep in mind you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old young men and all the emotion that goes into that. I appreciate Coach Pry. I got a lot of love and respect for him and his family. My thoughts and prayers go out to them. It's a tough business. We understand that part of it. Sometimes it gets lost in the personal side of it and understanding what the families and the coaches and everybody go through. But our focus really has to be on the players right now. We got a group of young men that have poured a ton of work. They've been molded together. Their world has been rocked a little bit right here. And our job as the coaching staff is going to be to continue to pour into them, provide them leadership, provide them guidance, provide them a plan and a direction to continue to go do what we need to do to finish up this season in the right way. I talked to the team the other day. We got 9 games left. You got about 12 weeks of that. We've got an opportunity right now to write the ending of what this story is going to be. We got some things we got to fix. We got some things we got to change. We got to continue to grow and to develop. But that being said, we got a lot of time to get that done. It starts this week. I'm excited about getting back on the field with them. Today will be our first practice day. We had a little bit of a practice on Sunday, but today will be the first major practice. And I'm excited to see them get on the field and us get back to some type of normal day to give them a direction and a plan and a focus of what this is going to be, what it's got to be as we continue to move forward. You know, Whit came to me. We've talked about this, accepting this role. I want to thank my family for being here and supporting me through this. Our coaching staff in the transition of that, they have been unbelievable. Those guys understand how important it is, the task and the job that we have to help guide and help these young men as they're working through this process, but also understanding we've got a great opportunity in front of us, an opportunity to go win a bunch of games. We got 9 games to do that, go prove who we are and what we can do, but it's going to take each and every one of us to make that happen and to get through that. As far as to our fans, I know how passionate you are about Hokie Nation and Hokie football. We're going to live up to that part of it, but I will tell you, these young men need your support. They need your energy. They need your focus. There's enough things going on in the world today of college football, but they need to know that you're behind them. I know that you will show them that. You are a great fan base. You have built the tradition here, and I'm excited to see your reaction to those young men and what they're going to do on the field as we go out each and every week to go and make you proud and to represent this university and this athletic department in the right way. This week, I think we have a Military Appreciation Week. There'll be a special tribute to all the men and women that have served our country, for the sacrifices that they have made, for their families, also for our first responders. It will be an important day for that, and I know Hokie Nation will show up and respect that in a really positive way. Again, I talked to the team. I feel like we have got a good grasp of what's going on. Obviously, there's lots of variables in what's going on in today's world of college athletics, but we've got to come together. We've got to stay together. We've got to mold together, and we got an opportunity to rewrite a story that can have a great ending. And that is going to be our goal and our focus, and that's the way we're going to attack it each and every day, each and every week. And it starts with today's practice, and we build on it from there. With that being said, I'll take questions.
All right, we'll open it up for some questions. Please limit your questions to one question and a single follow-up if possible. We'll start right over there.
You've obviously been a head coach before, so it's nothing new for you. Is it strange, or is there a greater challenge to it? You've been here essentially 7 months on the job here in a place that's still relatively new to you, taking over an entire program.
Yeah, I think it provides some different challenges for sure. That being said, I've been in this role. I understand what it takes. I understand how you're going to get pulled in a lot of different directions, what that does to your time, what that does to the energy that you got to put in certain areas. I think I'm well suited for that part of it. I've got a great staff that's going to be supporting me in that sense. And so those guys they're locked in with me. And so this is not going to be a one-man show. This is going to be a team effort. But at the end of the day, it's really more, again, I'm going to continue to keep preaching this. This is more about our players and our program and our locker room and us coming together and really doing some great things to have an opportunity to really make people proud of what we are and what we do.
You also had the play calling duties and offensive coordinator. How does that change at all? How do you plan to work that operation?
Yeah, right now, with everything that has gone on, that's the way I've always done it. I've been a head coach and I've called it. Obviously, it's split sometimes. This is different than what it's been in the past from a little bit of that, to be honest. But, again, the staff has done a tremendous job over the last 48 hours, and I've been pulled in a lot of different directions, and us being able to sit down, make sure that we're getting our game plan ready, making sure that we have what we need to go out and have a great practice today, build it on today, and making sure, again, that the focus stays on preparing our players for this week.
Monty, what was your message to the team once you addressed them before Sunday's practice?
Yeah, I won't get into all of it, but, there was a lot of raw emotion, as there should be with this. They needed to feel that. We needed to talk about it. We needed to get it out in the open. We got out on the practice field, then I had another opportunity to talk to them on the field after practice. But our message has been this. We got 9 games left. We got a chance to go write an unbelievable story. But it's going to take all of us to do that, players, coaches, administration. It's going to take all of us to go make that happen. And we need you to lock in and jump in and stay committed to what we're doing and how we're going to do it. But also understand some things are going to have to change, and we're going to move forward as we work in that direction.
How much are you relying on the leadership, the player leadership on this team through this process?
I think Coach Fry's done an unbelievable job of laying a great foundation, and our leadership within that has been really good. I've met with the leadership council, met with the captains. I think we are all on board and on the same wavelength. We understand what this is and what we've got to go do. Our leaders have been fantastic. They will continue to be fantastic, but right now more than ever, we need them to be strong. And our coaches have to continue to keep pushing that.
Let's go David Cunningham, and then we'll go Ryan on the second row.
You spoke about the leadership, and you also said that you feel like the team has a very good grasp of what's going on right now. Feel like it's very connected. What do you expect to see from practice today when you get out there on the field and they get a chance to kind of go play for the first time with so much going on outside of that?
Well, I honestly think so many of us, I think, fall into this category, whether we're talking about players, coaches, or just anybody in general. The more that you can get back to what your normal routine is, your normal day is, getting back into our meetings, getting back into a game plan, getting back onto the practice field, going out there and doing what they love to do, which is play this game. I think that provides some comfort and a level of being able to relieve some of the stress and get your focus and your attention on something else. I think that will be a huge part of today's practice. I think also the way we're going to structure it and the way we're going to do it, we got to move, we got to have tempo, we got to have some urgency about it, and I think those guys will generate that as we get out on the field.
Let's go second row, Ryan.
Coach, a lot of football left, all of conference play. How do you as interim balance trying to keep this roster together and motivated while also planning for these conference games?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we've talked about is staying together and keeping our roster together. There's a lot of variables right now in college football. Our leadership has been really good. They got to continue to do that. We've got to continue to stay arm in arm as we are in the locker room, as we continue to move forward in this season. To your point, we've got this week, and then we start conference play. And so we've got a lot of football left. We've got a lot of opportunities. Again, I'm going to say it, to rewrite this story. And they have the opportunity to set their legacy of what this year is really about and what it means.
And Kyron has had his struggles this season, as is the offense. Has there been any thought of seeing and evaluating what Pop or Dylan could do at the quarterback position?
To your point, maybe we haven't lived up to some of the expectations offensively. We've got to grow as a group. In my opinion, that doesn't fall on one person. We've got to do it collectively as a group. We've got to continue to keep growing as an offense. We've got to continue to keep growing as a defense, and we've got to continue to keep growing as a football team. That's got to be our focus. We got to get some guys back healthy. That's going to help in some areas. But that being said, this is not about one person. This is not about me. This is not about Kyron. This is not about this person. This is about us collectively as a group and how we're going to continue to move forward.
Let's go back of the room for Eric, and then we'll take a couple on Zoom.
Coach, along those same lines, collective effort, but you've been around here for a few months, so do you see areas in which you can perhaps motivate the guys differently or lead them differently over the next few months, or is the scope and the grand scheme of everything enough motivation, you feel like?
Well, I think there's a lot of motivating factors out there, right? Are there going to be some differences and some changes in maybe the way we practice, maybe the way we approach some things? I've got to put some version of myself, my own twist into what we do. Not saying one way's better than the other, but it's got to feel comfortable in the way we present it, okay? So is there going to be some changes? Yes, there has to be. In the style that we play, in the way that we practice and getting ourselves ready. But that being said, again, Coach Pry has done a tremendous job. He's laid a great foundation. We still have to put our own twist to it, and I think the guys will start feeling that as we continue to keep growing together in the direction that we got to go now.
Let's go to Zoom for a couple.
On Zoom, please use the raise hand feature to ask questions for Coach Montgomery, and we'll open it to questions. We'll start with Steve, please.
Coach, how do you believe you've evolved as a head coach since the last, where you believe that you're going to try to evolve as a head coach since the last time you were in this position a few years ago?
Yeah, I think more than anything else, I think every experience you have, you get an opportunity to grow, and you take all the different factors that went into that, whether being an assistant, being a head coach, going back to the assistant part of it. You get an opportunity to get more different influences from other people, and you get an opportunity to see, hey, I really like this, I didn't like that. These are things that I did before I thought were pretty good. Maybe we can shift them and go in a different direction, and maybe that makes it better. So I think you're continually growing as a person and as a head coach. I think I have the opportunity to do that. I've got great experience in that sense. And I've got a great coaching staff around me, guys that are committed, guys that we can lean on. In addition to that, just talking about our players. I mean, guys that are going to be locked in and focused with that. So I think it'll be a collective move and a collective group as we continue to work our way through it.
And follow up on that just a bit. It's only been 3 years since you've done this, but how different is this job now with NIL and transfer portal evolution and everything else?
Yeah, obviously it's different. College football is ever changing. College athletics is ever changing. Every year you get new rules, different thoughts. As that progresses, I've been in a lot of different stages of that. I don't foresee that as a problem right now. We continue to grow and evolve just like college football continues to grow and evolve.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Joseph next, please.
Hey, Monty. You mentioned about changes and twists that you're going to throw to the team. Can you elaborate on, what you mean by those changes and what twists and things that you plan to apply to this team that are maybe different than what Pry did?
I think it's just the approach of how we practice, what we do, the tempo in which we want to do that. Maybe changing up some different days and how we approach stuff. Those are the things internally that we're looking at. I've kind of got a feel for what I like to do from a practice schedule standpoint. We're going to start implementing that. I hadn't even got to talk to the players about that part of it yet. So as we kind of get into it, they'll see some of those changes. They'll feel some of those changes. And I think they will embrace that just like they've embraced a lot of different challenges.
Any final questions on Zoom for Coach Montgomery? Okay, Travis.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank y'all.